The heavens are telling the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims his handiwork. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night declares knowledge. There is no speech, nor are there words. Their voice is not heard. Yet their voice goes out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. When I was a child, I would go to church with my mom. Every Sunday we sat right in the middle on the left side, and I listened. I listened to the prayers, I listened to the songs, I listened to the sermon, and I listened to my mom talk to everyone after the service. Of course, I did more than just listen. I tried to say the prayers with the rest of the congregation, and I sang the hymns. If I'm being honest, though, mostly I daydreamed. I imagined heaven, and I tried to understand the idea of eternity and endless praise, and I wondered what the point was of that. I looked at the people sitting around me, praying with sincerity, and I wondered what they were like the rest of the week, and what they did, and if they prayed at home the way they did at church. I thought about what God wanted me to do, and how I ought to do it. If maybe I should go to help at the school in Haiti when I grew up, like some church members had done the year before. Or if I should volunteer at the soup kitchen down the street. Or if I should just go to school and try to live a good life. I thought about the people who must have worshipped here before me, whose names were painted on the stained glass windows and written on the plaques that dotted the church grounds for having given money or done some other task. And I wondered if they thought about the same things that I did when they sat here, when they were children. I wondered about all the people who practiced other religions, or different versions of Christianity, or about what happened to people who lived on the other side of the world before Jesus, and what God would do with all of them. Sometimes I didn't wonder much at all, and I counted the words left in the bulletin to see how much longer the service would last. When I was 14, the cyclone hit Burma, and 140,000 people were just gone in the blink of an eye. I saw the destruction, and I thought about the families torn apart and how life couldn't be the same for them again. A year later, 160,000 Haitians were killed by an earthquake. There were so many that they just buried the dead in mass graves. And then Syria happened. I watched that on the news and saw the children, no older than my little cousins, in the midst of rubble and carnage. Sometimes they were dead, sometimes alive but wounded or covered in dust and searching for their parents. And I thought about how hard the world can be on small, vulnerable things. I don't know what God had to do with any of it, or why God couldn't have stopped it. But I prayed anyway with words that were inadequate for the task, and I cried. Of course, things happened to me too, little things in comparison, but I thought about them a lot. I was harassed by some boys one day, and I didn't feel too safe after that. And then Kate, my next-door neighbor who watched me when I was a baby, died. When I was older, I stopped to see her after school every day, and we would talk and drink tea and laugh. Sometimes we didn't talk much, but we sat together and just enjoyed each other's company. I still miss her. But the thing that I thought about the most was what God wanted me to do. For myself, for the world, for anything. Mostly, I still don't really know. I went to school to become a paralegal, and I joined a practice that helps poor people and people who are treated unjustly by society. It's funny in a way. I hear a steady stream of stories from our clients about the daily slights and indignities they endure, and I don't know how to respond to it anymore. I think that I'm doing a good thing at my job, but I don't really know how to help. I don't really know how to pray. I prayed for all the victims of disaster and war, but this is more personal, and it is smaller, a slow, steady drip, and that somehow makes it worse. I still go to church, but not as much as I used to. When I go, I try to pray, but the words don't seem to make sense the way they used to, and I don't know if I can hear God. But I keep listening.